The plastic bag catches on a bench leg and just sits there. Nobody stops, nobody picks it up. That's where this starts. With what people leave behind. Not in wilderness. Not in a forest with clean water and edible plants. In a public park, surrounded by city. With nothing on you that you didn't already find on the ground. The rules of this scenario are simple and uncomfortable. You have 24 hours. You have whatever the park discarded. No gear, no food you brought, no water you carried in. Just what strangers abandoned between sunrise and now. The first thing most people get wrong is the inventory. They walk and they look, but they don't think in categories. Water, shelter, warmth, signal. Food last. That order isn't instinct, but it's the one that buys time. A park in any season has a baseline temperature problem. When you stop moving, your core body heat starts bleeding out. Concrete holds cold, shade holds cold, night multiplies both. Without insulation between your body and the ground, you lose heat fast. That's not dramatic, it's just physics. Conduction doesn't negotiate. So the first useful find isn't food, it's layering material. A newspaper folded flat against the torso slows heat loss measurably. A dry plastic bag trapping a thin air layer does real work. It looks ridiculous, it works anyway. The human body, sitting still on cold ground, loses warmth faster than standing. 30 minutes on a concrete slab in mild weather changes how you feel. 3 hours changes how clearly you think. That cognitive shift is quiet. That's what makes it dangerous. You don't feel yourself getting slower. You feel fine, then you feel tired. By the time confusion edges in, you've already lost decision quality. Park junk inventory usually includes predictable categories if you look carefully. Plastic bottles, partial or empty, are structural and thermal tools. Cardboard from takeout boxes compresses into ground insulation. Old clothing left on benches or near bins is the real prize. Even damp fabric layered correctly traps more warmth than nothing. The mistake is holding out for perfect material. There is no perfect material. A dry bench away from wind and low traffic is an asset. Position matters more than most people expect in an urban scenario. Wind chill in open park space is real, even on mild days. A wall, a dense hedge, a recessed corner. These change your exposure significantly. Finding one good protected position early is worth more than an hour of wandering. Thirst arrives before hunger, and it arrives quietly. Most people underestimate how fast mild dehydration affects mood and focus. The park water fountain, if working, is the most valuable fixed resource here. If it's off-season or shut down, that changes the timeline considerably. Puddle water in a park is not safe to drink without treatment. Bird baths, decorative ponds, same problem, same answer. Without a way to boil or filter, you don't drink standing water, you wait. Dehydration over 24 hours in mild weather is uncomfortable, but survivable. In heat, with exertion, that window shortens faster than most people expect. So you conserve, you sit more than you walk. Every unnecessary movement is water you don't have yet spending itself. Food is the least urgent variable in a 24-hour window. The body has reserves. Hunger is loud, but it isn't the emergency. What hunger does is distract. It pulls focus toward the wrong problem. A granola bar wrapper on the ground tells you someone was here recently. Bins near park cafes or vendor spots often have sealed or wrapped remnants. This is not comfortable, but discomfort and danger are not the same thing. The psychology of the scenario shifts somewhere around hour 6. The initial alertness fades. Small discomforts start compounding. A blister from poor footwear, a damp patch on clothing that won't dry, hunger noise in the stomach, a growing awareness that night is coming. That last one changes behavior more than anything else. Fading light in a park is a deadline, not just an atmosphere. Once visibility drops, your ability to find material, read terrain, and signal drops with it. Everything useful needs to happen before the light goes. Insulation gathered, position chosen, any available warmth locked in. A phone with even 5% battery is a signaling tool, not a luxury. That 5% used on one call or one message changes the outcome entirely. Park lighting at night is uneven. Some benches sit in full dark. Others sit under sodium lamps that attract insects but provide orientation. Staying near light isn't comfort-seeking, it's practical visibility management. The mental load of an unplanned overnight in unfamiliar open space is real. Sleep is unlikely. Genuine rest is the realistic goal. Short periods of stillness with eyes closed, body insulated, position protected. The nervous system doesn't need full sleep to partially recover. It needs reduced demand, stillness, warmth, reduced wind exposure. Around hour 14, depending on conditions, a pattern usually emerges. The people who manage best are not the ones who found the most. They're the ones who stopped looking for more once they had enough. Knowing when to stop and conserve is a judgment call that stress makes harder. But it's the call that separates uncomfortable from genuinely dangerous. By morning, the park refills, joggers, dog walkers, maintenance staff. That's the exit point. Not dramatic, not heroic. Just a person who held their core temperature, stayed hydrated where possible, kept their position sheltered, and waited for the world to come back around them. None of this requires survival training to understand. But real emergencies, exposure, dehydration, medical distress, require trained help, local knowledge, and professionals. Awareness is a starting point, not a substitute. What this scenario actually teaches isn't resourcefulness in the flashy sense. It's that the body needs three things to fend it in order: warmth, water, calm judgment. Everything else is secondary. The park didn't need to be wilderness to be serious.